this is Dee.
And this is Shelby.
And we're from Bitch Please. Welcome back to another episode. This week is episode number 51.
Yes.
Yeah, it's number 51.
I know.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? 51 episodes.
We almost made it to a full 52 weeks last year.
We did, almost.
But, you know, we had to take...
Life on life.
Life
just be life in.
Life
It just happens.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
But...
It be what it be.
It do be what it be. But we're here.
We are here.
We're here doing our
Hello.
things.
How are you? I hope everybody's January is going great so far, and that everybody's having a really good time this month.
Yeah. Before we get started, how are your screws?
They're good. I've been chilling today.
Yeah.
So everybody's very calm. Everybody's at peace. Yeah, it's just been chill.
Yeah.
How are your screws?
My screws are actually really good today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to eat some really good food.
Fuck yeah, we did.
Oh
my God, we did.
It was great.
In honor of MLK.
In honor of MLK. So definitely got some good food. And I'm just in a good mood because I chilled this morning.
Fuck yeah.
I didn't do anything.
Isn't it lovely?
It's great.
Just being a little fucking gnome in your bed, just sitting there.
Honestly,
Love
I think the 2 days off helped.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 days off is nice. I think more than 2 days off is better, but 2 days off is nice.
More than 2 days is better, but more than 2 days means I'm using PTO that I don't got.
Girl, at this point, and yes. Mm-hmm. Understandable. But look at us having our screws okay. Like, they're good.
I know. This
like,
is
they're
a good,
chilling. Like, I'm actually feeling good.
Yeah, I am too. I feel like balanced.
Yeah.
No, I think the other thing too is I've been getting a lot of people have been like reaching out over the last couple of days and really being like, hey, I just want to, and that's been like really touching my little heart.
I love that.
It had me slightly concerned because I'm like, do y'all know something I don't? But it has been warming my little heart. So I think that also has helped.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been, I don't know. Yesterday was a little wild for me.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a little wild for me with emotions, but today I'm actually feeling a lot better and I'm feeling good. I have a stalker.
Oh.
I have a stalker. I have a stalker. Officially, I'm calling him a stalker, although
You know
I can't
what?
get a restraining order against him.
I was going to say, this is probably actually really good for you to get it out because this will be on the internet. So
Yeah.
if anything ever happens,
I'm gonna talk about it.
Oh.
I had planned on saying it.
Please go for
I
it.
had planned on saying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a stalker. I'm considering him a stalker, even though I can't get a restraining order unless he actually does something to me. But I split up with this guy in November of 2023. And he creates new phone numbers.
Oh, shit. Mm-hmm. 23.
23.
Yo. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Because this past November was 2024, and it was my birthday.
Yeah.
He's created new phone numbers. He's created new social media accounts. He has tried to reach out to me on several different platforms. I have him blocked on everything. I have his brand new Google number blocked. I have all of that blocked. I keep telling him to leave me alone. He refuses to do it. And it seems like he's not going to stop doing it. So yesterday was a little bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Because of what I do for my job and just the nature of him as a person. He's extremely unpredictable. And you don't know if he's going to be you just never know if he's going to be in a good mood or a bad mood. And it flips kind of fast. He's also volatile. So he has a history of violence, especially against women. And it was a little nerve-wracking for me yesterday, but I'm gonna be strapped all the time now. All the time. So that's just where I'm at in life. So yesterday was kind of a little bit of a stressful moment for me. I mean, I was like really fucking stressed out.
Yeah.
But today I'm better because I feel like, hey, I'm not going to let somebody dictate my life. I'm not going to let somebody scare me into having to stay inside and not go anywhere or do anything or being afraid of things.
She's going to stay inside. She's going to stay inside because she want to stay inside.
Yeah, that's usually why I stay inside because I want to stay inside and enjoy my rent. So
AC lights
and everything else I pay for in here. There's a lot of shit happening in here. It's a good time. I just bought me a new PS5 and I am playing the fuck out of it.
We've been having a great time.
We've been having such a good time. But yeah, so it's been very interesting. So I figured I'd put this out here now. And, you know, if anything happens to me, I have close family and friends who know his name. And, yeah, they'll know exactly who did it. So it's sad that I have to say that. But it's true because I see it on a daily basis at my job. Women are constantly getting murdered because men are sensitive and they don't know how to handle their own feelings.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say all men, but like most men from what I've met so far and what I've experienced don't know how to handle or process their own feelings and they get upset. So yeah, I've seen women shot for less. So
like saying no.
yeah, like just saying no or leave me alone.
Or
which
leave
is
me
what
alone.
I've stated several times.
Or, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Can we break
So,
up?
Yeah. Yeah. No, but if he is the type of person that I think he is, he's probably already found this channel. He's probably already sifted through the stuff. Thank you for the views.
Thank you.
But also, if he comments and says anything on this, I hope everybody and all of the women in the masses tear him a new asshole.
Please.
But
Anyway.
also tearing him down as a man because he likes to call himself a feminist, even though he likes to physically assault women.
Yeah.
So
And rely on them to support his life.
So his profile says Mercedes enthusiast, right? And I can tell you right now, he didn't pay for his current Mercedes. Someone else has bought his Mercedes for him. So he actually just recently got a job after not having a job for 10 years. So anyways, I'm going to air his dirty laundry out because I'm hoping he watches this and he gets the point that I don't want to fucking talk to you. Leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with you. I want you to leave me alone. So that's all I'm going to say on the matter. Yesterday was kind of wild. If any woman or man has gone through stalking or has had to deal with this in the past, like, we'd love to hear your experience on it because it's actually kind of wild.
Sorry, go ahead.
I've never had anybody be so persistent ever. So, yeah, we'd love to hear people's experience.
If you were able to get a restraining order in whatever state that you live in, if you could express what state you live in and what steps did you have to go through to get that restraining order, because that information is it's not looking good over here in our great state. So if you could, shed light on that, if you have that information, that'd be great.
Yeah, getting a
Thanks so much.
restraining order here is hard, but
Yeah.
that's kind of wild. But Florida also hates women, so don't come here.
I mean, the
Don't come
country,
here.
let's be honest.
The country hates women, but Florida especially really hates us.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anywho's in. Other than that, I'm super stoked that our screws are good. My screws are good. Everything's chilling. I've just been binge reading and enjoying my little life.
Binge reading has been so
Binge
much fun.
reading.
I need to read this other story, but I'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start it.
Yeah, I know you will.
Yeah.
I know you will.
But
Anywho,
yeah.
do we want to do tea time?
Yes.
It's tea time, bitch.
All right. So tea time that we got this week is, everybody was doing their memorial services for Sister TikTok. Sis was gone for a whole 4-6 hours. Mm-hmm. Not very long.
I loved everybody's goodbye TikTok.
Everybody's goodbye. First of all, the internet's the best way that it knows how.
Yeah.
Because they had programs listed out. They said who was doing the eulogy, who was pallbearers.
Yep.
They had the whole program listed out for Sister Tiana, something like that. Something like that they called her.
TikTok Tiana.
Yeah, I was like, I cannot. But it was gone a little bit before midnight, and then it was gone for a few hours into today?
Yeah.
Or yesterday?
Today.
A few hours in today. And I think it started working last night.
Oh yeah, it did. Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah,
so it was a
because
few
I saw
hours.
people's TikTok. Oh, because I got notifications last night.
Yeah, I got a bunch of notifications. So, okay. So on the 18th, it started to go dark a little bit, and then it was completely gone for a few hours, and then somewhere around there it came back. So,
yep.
Welcome back, TikTok.
Welcome back, TikTok. We're happy to have you here.
We're happy to have you here.
Trump did not save it. I'm just going to say that. He has not saved TikTok. This is a Supreme Court decision.
I'm so confused about this because people are really oh, Trump, even TikTok itself had the little blurb that was like, President Trump is working hard at getting this fixed,
I know.
blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, but did y'all forget how this even got on anybody's radar to begin with?
He did.
Did we just all forget
Yeah.
he was like, TikTok is getting our information, which our information is being collected. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
If you have a cell phone, if you use the internet, if you do,
Yes.
it's being collected.
It is being collected all the time. That little thing that pops up where it's like, can we track other apps while you're using this app? No, it's still being collected. If you actually delete your Facebook, permanently delete it, it will send you a photo. I had a whole terabyte of information on every single location that I was at from the time of 2016 when I started my Facebook. Mm-hmm. Every time I opened it up, I had my location.
I turned my location. That's one of the reasons why I don't typically have my location on. I
told them they're not allowed to have my location, and they still have it.
Well, I turned off all of my location services. I turned off all the things on the apps because I didn't want that, even though it still tracks because you got
cell towers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's it's still, you can only do what you can do. If you're going to use these things of this world, you're going to be tracked in some way.
In some way. Yep. In some way. It's very interesting. But yeah, Trump is not saving TikTok. Please stop spreading that rumor around. He's not saving TikTok. He's not a savior of anything. If anything, hopefully he tries to save these children from these fucking mass shootings, which is my tea time.
While we worried about TikTok and renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, because that's apparently a thing that he's trying to do, and taking over Greenland, we have had
We have had 12 mass shootings. We just had one yesterday in Boynton Beach, Florida. A mass shooting consists of 4 or more people who have been killed or injured. So, yeah. So we just had that occur.
It's the 20th.
It's the 20th. It's the 20th. It is the 20th.
It's the 20th. Mm-hmm. There's been 12 mass shootings.
4 mass killings. And I'm saying mass killings because the Louisiana one on the 1st.
Oh, that was a not. Yeah.
But there has been 4 mass killings. There were 4 mass killings on January 1st alone. January 1st alone was 4 mass killings.
What's really wild about all of this is that this country has had this many mass killings in a matter of 20 days, and some countries haven't had that many killings in a matter of 50 years.
The United States make up about 5% of the entire global population. We make up about 5%, yet we have 31%. These are actual statistical facts, so by all means, you can fact check me. We make up about
right.
We make up 31% of mass killings.
Not surprised.
In the entire world. 31%. That's a third. That's a fucking third. Sorry, for those that are going to be sticklers, that's a little bit less than a third. A third is about 33.3%. That is a little bit less than a third. And we are one country. That's one country out of the many.
That's right, because this does not include stuff that happens in the North America. This is just the United States.
This is just the United States.
I didn't think about that.
This is one country.
Just the United States, not the continent as a whole. Not the continent. Just the United States.
Just the United States. So, but TikTok's more important. Obviously.
Yeah.
TikTok is way more important. So, and that's what our dear, lovely, brand new president is worried about. So it'll be interesting how these things go and what the next 4 years look like for women and people of color, because white men will be just fine. So,
I mean, it's probably gonna look the same as it always has, girl.
I think it's gonna get worse.
I mean, it's probably
gonna get a lot worse.
It's probably gonna get worse, but it's gonna look very similar to how it's been, because the country has never been built for anybody else except
white men. So I think it's going to get a lot worse, but I think it's going to get a lot worse in the sense of like nobody's going to pay attention, just like nobody's paying attention or has been paying attention. The fact that Roe v. Wade has been able to be, what is the word that I'm looking for? Because if I don't use the right terminology, then vultures will come get me. It has been repealed. So,
or you could use overturned, because they definitely
overturned
use
as well.
Overturned.
We'll use the term overturned. So that's wild, and that didn't take much doing for that to occur. And did it occur under the Biden administration? Yes, it did. But those that overturned it and helped support the overturn of Roe v. Wade were put in place by Donald Trump himself during his administration. Anywho, then, so that's our tea time. It might not be bright and fuzzy and funny, but that's what we have today. So I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah. So today's topic
is going to be an interesting topic.
It's going to be an interesting topic. It's I don't want to say it's too heavy. It's just a real topic. Or parenting your parents is what we're talking about today. And we were talking about kind of the things that have taken place as we were growing up.
Yeah.
And how our parents was just really on some bullshit in the best way they knew how to be, but like a little bit on some bullshit. And so we just want to talk about those things and just those experiences and kind of, how it looks to parent your parents as you get older and how you handle that or how you manage it. I mean, everybody's different, obviously. Different depending on the relationship that you have with your parents and the location. Like if you're even in the vicinity near your parents, like I'm not. So,
yeah.
But that.
Yeah, no. And I think this is more of a experience and opinion. So if anybody has any experience or opinions on this or what they go through, we'd love to hear about it because, it's real stuff. Like as we get older, we do have to take care of our parents. I just didn't realize how much we had to do that.
Yeah. I feel like it is how they like raise us in childhood and things like that, and we grow up and it's like us doing that in reverse.
Yeah, it's like a flip. Like you go through like a time, I think for me in like my 20s where I was just kind of doing my own thing and my parents were doing their own thing, and now it's kind of like slowly now I'm taking care of my parent.
Yeah, I feel like for me I'm taking care of my parents in a different way, because they are so far away. It's not necessarily like physical care because they're fairly healthy people, but like maybe a little bit more emotional support, or being more of like an ear to listen, or technical support, because I'm technical support a lot for my mama.
Yeah, facts.
I'm technical support for her a lot.
Facts.
But you know, in that way, but also like just like sometimes just kind of being a soundboard to, you know, hear some things and give advice to, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're giving advice to your parents, but they raised you to be a certain way, and like you're giving that advice back to them.
But it's almost like you've had like your own experience.
You
So like you
have.
have similar advice, but like it's also different a little bit because it's based on your own experience.
Yeah,
so you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But this is what I would do.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is how-
yeah.
you know,
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's cool.
it is definitely interesting because I'm like, I always knew I was going to take care of one of my parents. I'm very grateful it's not my mother. I'm so sorry to my sister who has to do that in the future. But I always knew I was going to take care of one of my parents, and I didn't know how much.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much that was going to be. Because it's a lot when you have to like schedule doctor's appointments and handle doctor visits and like do these things and like take them and do stuff like that. Like, you know, or they call you and they don't know how to operate something, or they call you and they've fucked up in life and they need your advice on how to get out, and they need your help on how to get out. And I think that's always interesting because it's just like, well, I'm a baby. I'm a child. I'm still a baby.
Yeah.
I don't know. So then I have to go and find the information and like do all of that. But it's
Yeah.
also like, this is just kind of for me in my life. This is just kind of how the progression's gone. But it's been really interesting to see because it's just like, you know, I never wanted to be a parent, never wanted to have children, never wanted to do the whole thing. Yet here I am doing that in some sort of way.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting how that dynamic changes over time.
Yeah. No, I agree with you completely. I do notice kind of the same thing where I'm like trying to find the information. I have been it's so funny to be, and now I understand the frustration my parents had with me when it came to like going to the doctor and making sure that I was taken care of and not waiting to the last minute and doing that, because now I'm having those conversations with my parents where I'm like,
100%.
did you go to your appointment? Did you schedule this? What is this looking like? And it's a little bit harder for me because I'm so far away, which brings a different level of stress because I don't have siblings.
Yeah.
So as they do continue to get older and things do progress where they are going to need more care, it's just me. And now I got to figure out like who I'm going to and when I'm going to and how I'm going to do that and how I can manage, which is a stress that I'm not really worried about right now because again, they're very healthy.
Yeah.
But I know at some point they're going to need more things that I'm not going to be able to do from here.
Yeah.
And being like, when they were in town, it was just so funny because I was like, you need to schedule this appointment. You need to get this done. And I'm talking to them like, you know, if you don't do this, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep doing this, you're going to need to do
You
this.
need to do this.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, and you know, and I felt bad because, you know, it was giving them a little bit of a scare, but I'm like, for real, like you can't
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, you got to take care of
Yeah.
yourself. The same way
Absolutely.
that y'all want me to take care of myself.
Absolutely.
You also need to take care of yourself. And if it comes to be where you have to have a procedure, then you have to have a procedure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that aspect of it is very strange because you're like, how am I telling you what to do as your child?
Yeah.
But like, I also need to tell you what to do because you're just like, I'll be fine.
It's just like they're teenagers all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
it is. It's like, well, I don't know. And technology? Now my dad's great with technology. I'm not gonna lie. He be putting me on a lot of stuff, to be honest. My mom?
Not my mom.
I don't know
my dad.
how. I don't know how she manages. I don't know how she does some of the things that she does.
Yeah.
She's actually very skilled
Yeah.
in fucking up some shit. She's
Listen.
very skilled at it when it comes to a
Listen.
phone and some internet.
Listen. But her posts be on point.
Her homegirl can navigate freaking. Did I tell you she has Threads now?
Yes.
Homegirl can navigate Instagram and Threads better than me.
Yeah.
But you ask her to order something online? No.
Yeah.
You ask her to connect her Wi-Fi to anything? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But you need her to make a collage
Yeah.
for her Instagram post? Homegirl
Yeah.
got it. She got stickers. She adds music.
Listen.
She gets it.
She does. And they be beautiful.
They be cute.
They're just so cute. They're just so cute. I know, I get it. My dad, I just had to help him because he forgot his password. That was a whole thing. I had to schedule a time of the day to be able to meet with him so I could fix this for him. It took me all of 5 minutes.
The thing that cracks me up about passwords is that you can write all of the passwords down.
Yeah.
You can have them in a book. You can have them on a sheet. You can have them somewhere.
Your phone saves them.
Your phone saves them. And somehow still, the password is incorrect.
Yeah.
And now I'm in trouble because, not in trouble, but I'm being like, well, I don't understand why you don't have my password. It's like, I mean, you changed it.
Yeah.
And you didn't tell me you changed it. So
Yeah.
how am I supposed to help you?
Yeah.
And then if you want to reset the password, you just got to get your email. And normal people are like, yeah, no, it's fine. I'll just get it to my email, log in.
Yeah.
No. Well, I don't know the password to my email.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I don't know the password to your email. Like,
Yeah. All the time.
so I have to reset stuff to my email.
All the time.
It's just an interesting balance of life.
It is.
Trying to figure out how to navigate and try to handle getting them in the best space that they need to be for where they're at in their lives.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Without making them feel like stupid.
Yeah,
you
because
know.
I don't want them to feel like they're a
Ever.
burden in any way. Because like my dad, like my parent is not a burden
Yeah.
in any way.
Absolutely.
Absolutely would do anything. But it's just also interesting to see like how the dynamic in the world's changed.
Yeah.
In that,
It is.
you know,
It is. It
because
is.
it's just like, I mean, now I'm encouraging them to go do things. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why don't you just do it? Why don't you
Exactly.
just go? Give it a try. You don't know what's gonna happen. You know?
Exactly.
And it's like you reverse parenting. You know.
So the thing that I want to talk about, it's in regards to parenting your parent, but like in a different way.
Yeah.
The conversations that you have with your parents as you become an adult and
Yeah.
as you are in adulthood,
Yeah.
the conversations change quite a bit because you
Yes.
get that like mutual respect of like, I understand you're an adult. You're still my kid, but you're an adult.
Yeah.
And so some of those conversations are very different.
Yeah.
And the scope in which they're coming it's funny because
Yeah.
some of the conversations that I have had with my parents
Mm-hmm.
in regards to just life in general has been very interesting because it was real things about like, you know, what made you decide that you wanted to have me? Like why was that a
Yeah.
thought? Like what made you do that?
Yeah.
Why am I here? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, you know, or what was your thought process on this and this and this? Or when I was a kid, again,
Yeah.
I'm an only child. My parents used to just put me on a plane and just send me
Yeah.
to places.
Just off.
Just
Goodbye.
go. Granted, this was during a different time. This is pre 9/11. So you could go, you could be with your family. They would walk you up to your gate. They would give you to a flight attendant. They would, you know, put you on the plane. You would get off and your family member or whoever was going to be there to pick you up.
Yes.
So very different times. But a lot can happen.
Yeah.
Like, granted, you get handed off and you get off. Like, a whole lot shouldn't happen in the air.
100%.
But stuff happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think of the times when my parents used to, like, when I went to college, my dad tells this story all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what the school looked like.
Yeah.
We saw what it looked like online,
Yeah.
but there wasn't like an Instagram page. There wasn't like a Facebook profile.
Yeah.
Like, we just saw what we saw online for the time.
Yeah.
And they were just like, all right, have a good time.
Yeah.
They brought me my car and they were like, oh my God, did we make a mistake? Because they saw where I was at and they had no idea.
Yeah.
That my dad told me flat out, he's like, if we would have seen what the school looked like before you went, you probably would have never gone.
Yeah.
Even though they gave me money and all that. He was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if we would have sent you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, that makes sense. But he's like, he tells people about that to, he's got a lot of people he works with whose kids are going to college and they're like freaking out. Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know how well I'm going to handle it, da da da. And my dad's like, yeah, you know, I just tell them all the time we just sent you off to college and didn't even know where you're going.
Yeah.
He's like, we knew it was a school, but we didn't really know much else. And I was
Yeah.
like, y'all was wild.
Girl, I'm saying though, because like when I was younger, I was like, I just told this story to somebody, which is so funny that I'm saying it now again. But when I was younger, you just got picked up by a van and then you went. Like I was interested in going to a church, right? I wanted to go to church. I was always seeking out something when I was a kid. Like I always wanted to learn about religion and seeking out stuff, whatever, and try shit out, right? So I don't know how my mother found these people. But they would just come by and because her best friend lived across. Across. Yeah. I don't know why I said it like that.
That's okay.
I don't like that. She used to send her daughter off to this church or whatever. And they would come in the morning in the van and they would just pick her up and then she would go. Right? This man would just come in and he had a van full of children. And I was like, you know what? I really want to know what this is about. So I hopped in one of those vans one day. My mom was like, have a good day. Me and my sister went. Didn't know where the fuck we was going, nothing. Just goodbye. You know, didn't know what was going to happen. We were just in the hands of another man. And it was just interesting how that was back there because I think that was in probably, I want to say like probably late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
So it's just like, y'all just was like, goodbye.
You think
Have a
about
grand
it.
time.
You think about
Enjoy your time.
Parents being like, all right, go outside, go play outside. And you go play outside all damn day.
All day.
And as long as you came inside by the time the street lights came on.
By the time them
you were
streets
okay.
light came on.
But you were just gone all day. You probably roamed the whole city.
I did. I was
All
walking
day
around
long.
on major streets. I was at major intersections and I was like 10, 11, you know,
long as
me and
them
my
street
group of
lights-
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was before cell phones. This was
That's what
before
exactly.
we had house phones, bro. Like we didn't have that. So I used to be out in these woods in the back and like hanging out with friends, and we would do some crazy shit, and you know, we would see dead animals, and we, you know what I mean? We just it was just you was just walking around and just doing your thing.
Yeah, and just hoping that you never got kidnapped.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have the access to call somebody or anything like
Yeah.
that. Like you used to call your friends and be like, "Hey, meet me outside. I'm about to leave the house in 10 minutes."
It would
Or,
be
I'm
like,
about to leave the house now. Leave in 10 minutes.
Meet me at the block up the street, though.
Right.
You gotta meet me up the street, though. Meet me by the pool.
Meet me by the
If
pool.
you meet by the
On
pool,
the right side.
meet me by the pool on the right side. That's where I'm gonna be at. And if you can't, and if you get there and they don't show, then you gotta walk around a little bit.
Yeah.
You gotta find them. But that's the thing is like, it was just such a simpler time back then.
was
I feel
such a
like
simpler
the
time.
internet and everything else is just complicated and mucked up so much shit.
I agree. I do agree with you because it's very different. I think the only way of communication that I had with my parents back then was walkie-talkies.
We tried the walkie-talkie thing, but the walkie-talkies just did not go far enough.
They don't.
Yeah.
So you can use them up to a certain amount, and then once they go out of range,
And I didn't like that because I had to stay in a certain range, and that was too close to the house because I wanted to explore shit.
it was
I wanted to
like-
go to my friend Kylie's house up the street because she had a trampoline. That's what you know what I mean? But the walkie-talkie didn't go that far.
Girl, I used to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to so and so's house. I'm not gonna be active for a little bit," and then
Yeah.
I would just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then as soon as I would get to whoever's house or whatever, you'd have to make a call.
Make a call.
And then let them know you're okay. But it was just funny to think that our parents were just like, "All right, bye, have a good time." And if you didn't show up at night, then they'd be like, "Shit.
Where the fuck they
should've-
at? Where the fuck they
I
at?
remember I came in late one time. The streetlights had been on for like a good 10-15 minutes. I got in so much trouble.
Yeah, so did I.
And at the time, I didn't understand. Like, I understood why, because they told me to be inside at this time and I wasn't.
Yeah.
But it was bigger than that.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that because
Yeah.
they were like, "Hey, girl, anything could have happened to you. Like,
100%.
we need to make sure you didn't get taken." And I'm like, "Well, you weren't that concerned because you let me go out the next day."
Absolutely. I was just fine the next day.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting how it was back then and how things are now.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I thought about, like, when I thought about having kids and how I would parent, I was like, if there was a way that I was going to parent them, it would definitely be not putting them in front of electronics.
Yeah.
I don't want to just sit my kid down in front of electronics and like just have them watch TV.
Yeah.
Or have them have cell phones, you know, until a certain age, or, you know, do those things, because it's just like they need to be outside and experiencing shit.
Exactly.
Because it's just like, I think about like how creative and how like imaginative my mind is now, and the things that I create and stuff like that, especially from reading and stuff. And it's like, you don't see kids doing that anymore. They're not reading. If they are, they're reading on, you know, their phones and stuff like that, which, don't get me wrong, I'm all about not killing a bunch of trees to make books, but it's still like they don't have that, you know. And it's just like, I don't know, it would just, I feel like it would be different.
It would be different, and that's why I get super excited anytime I see a bunch of kids playing outside. It'd be
Yeah.
making me mad, but I also like, because I'd be like, "Get out the goddamn street!"
Facts.
But also like, have a good time.
Play your basketball. I
Yeah.
love that y'all are outside at 9 o'clock at night playing basketball,
Yeah.
because I used to do that shit.
Yeah.
I used to be outside at 9 o'clock at night, you know, in front of my house, because the lights were off, but like as long as I was in front of the house, I was fine.
Yeah.
But like, you know, hanging out with friends and playing Pokemon cards and like doing little shit like that, or like I used to jump off roofs and like, you know, play Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like it was
Manhunt?
just manhunt. You know what I think we should do? Sorry, super side
An
note.
adult man.
An adult manhunt.
Girl.
I think we should do an adult manhunt. I think we should get something together where we all get together and we do an adult manhunt, and we just go outside and we hide. But I'm gonna tell you right now, these knees ain't the same. These knees ain't the same,
I'm
and
not running-
this vision ain't the same either. So I ain't gonna be able to see nobody.
Girl, I'm gonna be running like. We gonna have to, as long as we can go eat afterwards. I'm down as long as we can eat
Absolutely.
afterwards.
Absolutely, but
But yeah, I mean,
it is interesting.
It is interesting, but I agree with you. I like seeing it, but it's just, it is different times, and I don't know. Like, you do see kids playing, but it's just very different because you have technology, you have social media, you just got so many different things, and you can tell kind of like, you can tell how people are growing up depending on like what type of activity they're doing. Like if they're outside all the time, they probably don't have the means to have a whole bunch of things, or their parents are like, "Get the fuck out."
Yeah.
Like, you got to go outside.
100%. Because it's like, for me, I'm like, I see, you know, I've dated some people who have kids and stuff like that, and like seeing their kids, like a 2-year-old should not know how to work a phone more than I. They just shouldn't. They're spending too much screen time there. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm not a parent. Y'all do you. I understand if you got busy lives and whatever, and you just want to shut your kid up and put them in front of a TV, or if you just think that's even better for them or whatever. But I just feel like a 2-year-old should not know how to work a phone faster than I can.
Yeah.
Because I've watched kids take a phone and they're just like on YouTube. And I was like, how the fuck you got there?
How did you even know?
How did you even? How did you? I didn't even know you could do that.
No, you downloaded an app. What do you mean?
Like, and seriously, they do that. They'll download apps. They'll spend money. They'll do all that, and it's just like, it's just crazy. It's
crazy.
just like they need to be outside in the actual world, breathing the fresh air that's outside. Well, the relatively fresh air that's outside, and getting the sunlight, not being inside and being reclusive.
Yeah.
I feel like that whole thing causes like a whole different personality change.
It does. I think it does bring a whole personality change, because it's not only are you not really interacting with other kids, but you're just so, you don't have, I don't want to say you don't have social skills, but your social skills are going to be a little bit off because you're just not interacting like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you might get it from school, but like, what if you are homeschooled?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, like,
you know what I mean?
I don't have the best social skills. And I also grew up in a time where you were outside, but also technology was starting to boom. We had video games. We had shit like that. Like we had the internet, by the time I was 13, we had internet. We had dial up, but like we was chilling, we was hanging out. Damn, we had dial up at 13. But yeah, it's just crazy how different it is between now and then. Yeah. And it is crazy how our parents just were like, okay, goodbye, have a good time.
But it's so funny. And this is kind of, it gave me a better perspective on my parents, especially because you just get older and you see things differently. I understood them a lot more, and you hear people say that all the time, like, oh, you'll see when you get older. You really do see when you get older. Yeah. You'll be like, damn, they was right the whole time, or wow, y'all was really, really wrong.
Yeah.
Like, y'all had
Facts.
no idea what you were talking about.
Y'all was
There's
wild.
been conversations that me and my family have had, and I've gotten apologies for the terrible advice I was given, because they had no idea what to do and they were just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And when you get to that point, you give yourself and your parents a lot of grace.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are just people.
Yeah, because as you get older, that's all we know. I mean, when we get older, I look at my parents and I was like, okay, so like I'm 33 right now. When my mom was 33, she had a 16-year-old.
Okay.
So at least if I'm mathing correctly, y'all can correct me on this. My mom was 17 when she had me, so whatever. But she had a 16-year-old when she was 33, and I think about that, and I'm like, my mentality now, and having a 16-year-old
girl,
I give her so much grace. Granted, my mother is not a great person, and she does wild shit, and it's not that she's not great, she's just extremely unhealthy. She's mentally not okay. But I give her so much grace because I'm like, okay, you were so young when you had me. And I think about me now, 33, and having a 16-year-old, and I'm like, that would be wild.
Imagine.
I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I would be fucking out here I can't even handle most people my own age, let alone a teenager.
I mean, me and my dad were talking about this yesterday. And I was like, because we were talking about, getting older and stuff like that. I was like, I can't believe that I'm at the age that I'm at. And he's like, when I was your age, you were, I think he said I was like 12 or 13 or something like that. And I was like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's really insane to think about. But also just like me now, I couldn't imagine. Yeah. I just can't imagine. Probably because I'm not wired together that way. But the idea that they were like really figuring it out as they were going along
it's crazy.
With a whole child that was walking, talking, going to school, and having ideas and thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't a baby.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was a baby, but I wasn't like a baby.
Yeah,
you know what
I
mean? It's just insane to think about that they were doing all of these things. And one of the things that he mentioned to me, he was like, we were figuring it out as best that we could, we try to do everything we can to set you on a good path. He's like, but there's no handbook.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. He's like, I was figuring it out. He's like, me and your mom were figuring it out just like my parents were figuring it out.
Yeah.
And you're figuring it out just like we figured it out. And he's like, the thing that's so interesting is this is when you realize we're just people. And I'm like, oh, I've always understood that you're just people, but it like really hit that they're just people as I've gotten to be an adult.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, they were just trying to figure it out the best way they could.
It really sinks in that they are really just people.
Just people doing the best that they can with what they got.
Yeah. It's just kind of wild to me.
It is really wild
to me. And then when you realize that, for me, a lot of like, I can't say a lot, but some of my resentments kind of went away because I was like, okay, you didn't know what she was doing. You operating off of the handbook that your parents gave you, and your parents weren't great. So it's just like, there's no way that we can, whatever. Yeah. But it's crazy cool because going back to what you were talking about with like the different types of conversations you have, like I'd be having some crazy conversations with my dad. So the other day I asked my dad, I was like, why are men like this? I asked him straight out. I said, why are men like this to women? I was like, I said, Papi, I just don't understand.
His response was so funny.
I said, Papi, I just don't understand. Like, why are men like this? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, why do they do this? They present themselves as one way only to get you, and then they're different, and then they're mean, and then they're mean. And I don't know if it's just the men that I have fucked with, but I have met even those that I don't fuck with, and I have met other women that I have seen fuck with, and they're just not there. They're not as present, or they're not as like, it's not the same as it used to be. And my dad was like, honestly, I don't know. He was like, in my day, he's like, we took care of women. That's what we did. Like, we took care of our women, our girls, and who we were with. Like, we were there for them. We took care of them. Like, we did our best. Like, granted, we couldn't always like communicate and talk about stuff, but it's like, we did our best. And it's just like, he's like, I don't understand what's good with these men today. He said, I don't understand. He said, it wasn't like that back in my day.
Yeah.
He said, so I don't have an answer to tell you.
Girl. My dad...
I loved his answer, though.
No, it was just how he was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him.
The conversations are good.
Yeah.
And the advice that you get, or the responses that you get, are always just really funny. Oh, I do remember. So we were watching later. We weren't watching. We were talking about dating.
Yeah.
And, advice is asked. Questions are answered, whatever. And he was like, did you watch the show on Netflix, the dating show? And I was like, are you talking about Later Daters? And he's like, yeah. And I was
That's
like,
so cute.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I saw it, but I didn't get through the first episode because X, Y, and Z. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I stayed watching because there's a guy on there that's a vet, blah, blah, blah. He was going through that whole thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, the thing that show showed me was very true. He's like, dating in your 60s, your 50s and 60s, it's really no different. And I was like, Daddy, dating in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, I'm sure is no different, because the 30s I'm experiencing the same thing that y'all probably is experiencing in your 60s. Like,
yep. Yeah.
I just am.
Yeah.
And that's probably a picker thing, but it's also like the things are still very much the same.
Yeah.
Which is actually disheartening.
It is very disheartening, because dating is absolute garbage right now.
Well, and it just kind of shows that, you would hope that people grow and develop and find new ideas, especially for a lot of the later daters, because they're like divorced or they're widowed or something.
Yeah.
You just think you would have like a type of growth.
Yeah.
Apparently you don't.
No.
And that is a little disheartening.
That makes me sad, because people don't actually try to take a look at, anyways, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But it just makes me sad to see.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Yeah. But it was just interesting to have that conversation. But it's just funny
Yeah.
to be able to have those types of conversations and it not come of a place of like, I'm your parent and you're going to listen to me. It's more of like, we can talk as two adults.
Yeah.
We're just having a conversation about our thoughts and our,
Yeah.
emotions or whatever. And it's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
It is. I think it's super freaking dope.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What's been keeping you up at night?
Anyways, so what's been keeping you up at night? So I got into a deep dive on African forest elephants. I got into a deep dive on African forest elephants. Actually, just elephants in general.
I was not expecting that.
I know, that's why I didn't want to tell you. That's why I didn't want to tell you. But specifically African forest elephants. And I thought that was cool as shit, because those are the most understudied ones, right? Because you have like all of the elephants are pretty much the same, right? For the most part, like genetically speaking, they are pretty much the same. Besides the fact that you have like the Sahara elephants, or the savanna elephants, you've got the desert elephants, you've got the African forest elephants, you have all sorts of different elephants, right? But they all look different. So like the desert elephant has longer leg and different tusks as opposed to the Sahara elephant, and the Sahara elephant looks way different than the African forest elephant, because the African forest elephants are a little bit darker. They have these crazy beautiful light hazel, like almost fire, like ember looking eyes. It's really beautiful, and their tusks are a lot longer and they are straighter. They're not as curved. But they're because of where they're at and what they're eating and so on and so forth, but they're not seen and studied as much because of how dense the forest is and where they go. You only see them for a short period of time, but then also they're highly affected by pesticides and stuff like that in the area. So it's just like, it's really cool to see. It's really cool. It was really cool to see. But I went on a deep dive for that, because actually I watched a documentary. Oh yeah,
the elephant one.
Yeah.
Shelby is so adorable. She texted me. Actually, she voice noted me her watching this documentary, and she was like, "I'm crying right now because this elephant. I was like, oh, she's so cute.
I was in tears. Okay. I also want to say that I was PMSing, but I was in tears over these baby elephants and how much they have to struggle, because literally they're popped out and then they're like, all right, now we're taking a walk across the entire desert. And if you don't survive, you don't fucking survive. And it's just like, it's wild out here.
You know, I often think about, what if people did that? Like, just shove your baby off the nest and you're like, you didn't fly?
Well, you didn't make it.
Be better.
The next batch will be better.
Next batch will be better.
But it's just like, it's crazy because it's just like watching them and whatever. And they have like the longest gestation. There's like, it's between 21 to 24 months long.
Oh my God.
21 to 24 months long. For elephants, that's how long it takes for their gestation. So they're pregnant for that long. So they don't have them often, and very rarely do you see twins. So their numbers are dwindling actually quite rapidly, but it's still crazy cool to see the difference between them and how they all eat different shit and blah blah blah. And like, but the African forest elephant and specifically is based, did you ever watch Jungle Book?
Yeah.
The Jungle Book one is based off the Jungle, like, wait, is it Jungle Book?
That would make sense.
I can't remember if it's the Jungle Book or Tarzan.
Oh, it might be Tarzan.
I think it was Tarzan.
Yeah.
I think it's Tarzan because the elephants, it's the elephants never forget when they sing it and they're marching.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you remember?
I think that.
Anyways,
I don't remember.
One of them or whatever, they had a scene in there where it had elephants, and it was based off of the African forest elephant. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
I love how excited you were.
I do. I get very excited about it. Yeah. But the documentary is called Secrets of Elephants, and it is on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus has some amazing documentaries because it's linked to, isn't it linked to Nat Geo or Discovery?
Nat Geo.
And it has some really great documentaries on like animals and the world.
Yeah.
And like, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, or Hello Earth or whatever I think is on there.
Yeah. And I can't remember who was narrating it, but it was a really popular person and somebody I did not expect, and they were great.
Yeah.
But the person that was narrating The Secrets of Elephants was Natalie Portman.
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
She has a very nice.
Yeah. Because if I'm not mistaken, Sir David Attenborough passed. He was the one with the English accent that always did the.
Oh, that always does a narration.
Oh, is it for I think he passed.
Yeah, he might have.
I think he might have passed. Older. He was old, dude. I don't know. He might still be alive, and I could be wrong. You can
hopefully
correct us.
We didn't just kill you off, bro.
Hopefully we didn't. Anyways, what about you? What have you kept you up? What has kept you up? Yes.
So it didn't keep me up, but it did kind of keep me up because it had intrigued me. So I get Snapple Facts daily. And this particular Snapple Fact actually led me on a deep dive to figure out what the fuck they were talking about. So the Snapple Fact 1936, this is Snapple Fact number 1936, not year. When threatened, ladybugs bleed from their knees. The reason why that took me on a path is because I didn't know ladybugs had knees. So I was very excited about that. I've been finding out all about people and things having knees that I didn't know had knees.
That is so interesting.
Yeah. So I actually looked it up because I was like, do ladybugs even have knees? And they're like, ladybugs do in fact have knees.
That's crazy.
And they leak this shit out from their knees if they feel threatened. And
I knew they leaked stuff out, but I didn't know it was from their knees.
Yeah, I didn't know they had knees. So that like really just
that
sent me already.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So apparently they release a foul smelling fluid from their leg joints, which is like their knees.
Yeah.
And it's called reflex bleeding. Mm-hmm. It's like it's not like a blood, like it doesn't look like blood.
It's orangish color.
It's actually it's yellow. Oh no. I don't know what color it is, but it leaves yellow stains.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really weird. But it's like their defense mechanism to protect themselves from like predators and shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they did that. I knew you would know that. I knew you would know this shit. I knew it. I was like, she gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about immediately. I'm gonna bring it up. She gonna be like, yeah, because they do this, and this.
Yeah.
But
I was fascinated by ladybugs when I was a kid.
I thought it was interesting because I had no idea. But it shows like so then I was like, well, what else do they do when they feel threatened?
Yeah.
And
let me know.
Yeah. When they feel threatened, they do release that from their knees. They also will play dead. They'll leave little yellow stains on shit. They'll drop from a branch so it looks like they just kind of like disappeared.
Yeah.
Because they're like so small, even though other things can see them really well, they just like drop and the people are like, what?
Yeah.
You know. And then they'll also pinch.
Yes.
They have like little back legs and they'll pinch to ward off predators. So I thought that was very, very interesting. The fluid that they have, it also has a really bad like taste to it. So it really deters other things from their predators from eating them.
Yeah. That's
They
so
have
funny.
knees. So all I got from that was ladybugs got knees.
Ladybugs got knees. I wonder if
didn't
they
know
got
ladybugs had
kneecaps.
knees.
Did you ever look that up? If they
I
got
don't think they
kneecaps?
have kneecaps.
All right, so they're like babies.
They might. I don't know if they have kneecaps. I'm gonna look that up and be up all night.
No, figure out if they got kneecaps.
But that's what kept me up.
That's
I
fucking
went on that
interesting.
I get sample facts every day, and that one actually took me to go research it.
Yeah. Ladybugs are actually, they were cool.
Yeah.
It's just like if you find a ladybug and you're trying to like get it out of your car, they'll tuck their little feet in and they just like that, but they play dead.
Yeah.
So like you can move them around and like whatever, but they play dead. But then if you just sit there,
Yeah.
they'll start, their little legs will start coming out a little bit. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you're still here. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
But they leak.
Yeah, they do leak.
It's like inking, like
Yeah.
with squids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you made me ink.
You made me ink.
But yeah,
Amazing.
that was my.
You were
are.
like, you'll know that. And I was like, oh, probably.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to another.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of Bitch Please.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all being here. Definitely like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We do have a mini episode out called Bumping Gums. Episode 2 has been out as of today, which is January 20th, MLK Day. Woo, happy MLK Day. But yeah, so definitely go check that out and see if it's just an info dump. If we say something wrong, let us know. We do have a corrections corner for that. So like, share, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.